thought they did well. You're always curious how they're going to come back and respond from a difficult day one. So I was really happy with that. You guys clearly are in shape and condition and ready for camp, given that they didn't come in today sore or are unable to participate. Guys just kept working. It was another day with lots of skating, lots of work that way. Obviously, game day tomorrow for a lot of them, so not quite as a typical day, but I was happy with the work that we got done.
Has anyone the thought process of deciding kind of who gets in what exhibition game and kind of the format of who plays when?
Yeah, there's no real science to it. To be honest, we're just kind of sorting through things, trying mapping out what the remaining games in preseason might look like in terms of how the number of games might go, the gaps and distance between games. So that's really it. But we, like a lot of teams, we'll have our allotment of established NHL players playing, and but a lot of other younger guys in as well.
Is anyone really jumping off the page to you at this point after a couple of days? Anyone maybe who's even surprised you?
I don't like to single anyone out that way because I think we've had a lot of guys that have shown very well. I guess what I'd say is I'm just really happy with those that are new, that I'm getting to learn more about. You watch them on video and you talk to them and all that, but to see them live and on the ice and in the battles and competing and how they process information and apply it, I've been happy with that. So, right down the list of the incoming players, I've been really happy with what we've gotten out of them in 2 days. And in some cases, we've got some language barrier issues, Semyonov in particular, but he's picked things up very well.
David Kampf was out here saying that he wants to shut down all the best players in the NHL. That's got to be music to your ears. That you've got a guy that's what he wants to do. What do you think of him in particular?
Well, it speaks to his mindset right away, and just he knows exactly who he is and what he does. He's done a very good job of it around the league. I've had a number of NHL coaches reach out to me and talk about how much respect they have for Camp's game and what he does. And that includes Jeremy Colton in Chicago. So he's a guy that brings a lot to the table. Like I said, knows exactly who he is and what he wants to do. And to put together successful teams, you need the guys that are very comfortable in playing those type of roles.
Are you trying to build a straight shutdown line? Are you trying to find one in this game?
We're always trying to find lines that we can be comfortable playing in all situations. That's what really excited me about adding Kampf to the group. Is he's shown that he can do that. He can take face-offs. He can play against good people, and we think he's got other elements of his game offensively he can build on and grow in. But the fact that he's confident and comfortable in that role brings us a lot of options to what we can do lower in the lineup.
Seems like every year Mitch talks about wanting to use his shot more. It's something that's important to him. How much dialogue do you have with him about that particular evolution of his game?
We've chatted about it for sure. As last season ended, it was one of the things that we spoke of and really made some connections, with him and trying to get on the ice and get extra work with skill coaches and things like that, to work on those areas of his game. It's not just about the shot mentality necessarily. It's also just about actually the physical shot and working on it and details of it, getting those reps in, and credit to him because he put in a lot of work to do that.
Are you seeing a difference already a bit in that regard, Sheldon, or is it too early to say?
I'd say it's too early at this point, Terry. But it's not too early for me to tell the work because I've spoken to a lot of those that have worked with him, and I've seen some of it myself being here in the facility. So really happy just with his whole approach and how he's handled his off season and coming here today. Coming into this camp, but ready to go.
Wayne Simmons was just saying that John Tavares had a bunch of the guys up to his cottage, kind of train and bond and talk things over. How much of an impact do you think players doing that on their own can have going into the season? What use?
Well, each situation is different. Of course, it remains to be seen in terms of how, what impact that something like that may have made. But the feedback was terrific. I think the initiative by John to do that, and it was a significant group that we had here in working in Toronto or living in Toronto that made the trip out there and they spent time together, and it wasn't just time relaxing on the water. They got some work in while they were there too, skated and trained and did all that sort of stuff together too. So it was a significant trip, and I don't know a whole lot that went on there. I don't really want to know. That's their time to do that, but. Again, John's initiative to do it speaks to his leadership and his growth as he's established himself here, over time now as the captain and the leader of this team. And I think it was a very positive step for us that sets us up for success going into this camp and through the season.
The Amazon series, Coach, that you filmed last year, I guess to that end, it'll take people behind the scenes of a lot of stuff that people just don't quite understand what you guys do on a daily basis. What do you think will be good for fans to learn about what it is that goes on behind the scenes that they should know?
Well, I think it's just, and I don't know how much of this will come out of it. I haven't seen the final, the final episodes, but I think just the personalities of the team and also the adversities they go through, some of the injuries and the battles and behind the scenes and how that impacts the players and the team. Just the journey of the ups and downs and the emotions, that are attached to it. There's a lot of things that you go through over the course of a season, and I think if anything, that's what the show is able to capture with the thousands of hours of film they got between the different cameras we had following us around.
Any idea or any hope for when Austin will join the main group?
Yeah, I think that's all just going to depend on how he progresses. I think today took another step. Each day I think he's going to, feel better and get more done, and just be a matter of how that progresses. There's no exact date or anything that we're targeting at this point. We're very confident it's going to be before the opening of regular season. Of course, if we can get him in some exhibition games, then even better.
What do you like about Michael Bunting pairing him with Joe
Well, first I just look at Bud's skill set. He's a guy that is really hard on the puck, but also very good and tenacious around the net. Loves to score goals. The time I coached him in Sault Ste. Marie, and he joined us, as a late bloomer coming into junior hockey in the OHL. Just loved to score and relentless around the goal, and he's shown that last season in Arizona as well. Look at a lot of the goals he scored. There's not a whole lot of fluky goals there. He's in the right places, and he's challenging the crease and getting after the net. That's what he does. He's developed some great confidence. He really wants to be here and be a Maple Leaf, and the work that he's put in this offseason has reflected that. So the skill set he has in terms of being on the puck, being around the net, and the ability to finish chances, we think is a good fit to play with our better players. So we're going to give him that opportunity. Much like we've said with Nick Ritchie, we've got other guys as well. And, we'll move the lines around throughout camp here and throughout preseason, give different people different looks and opportunities. But certainly think with Bunt's skill set that, there's some good potential there.
What do you think of
looking for in someone like Dermott to make that next step in his career?
Same sort of things that it's been for Derms, just that level of consistency that you're looking for in young players, and just consistency, reliability. That's really it. Just taking the step that way, taking the step in just the whole maturation of his game, and how that manifests itself on the ice. That's what we're looking for. We're giving him a good opportunity here, and the fact that we've kind of rejigged our D-pairs through this camp and through the early portion of preseason gives guys like Dermott and Liljegren and Sandin different looks and different opportunities, and should give them confidence coming in, knowing they've got a veteran to lean on and talk to and all those kind of things. So we're just hoping that all of our young players will get a little bit of a jolt from that.
More PK time for Dermott, probably?
Yeah, I think so. That's the expectation. Obviously we've got a hole there to fill. So between Dermott and Riley, both see some increased time there.
If Mitch takes another step with his shot, how much of an impact do you think that might make on the power play?
Significant is our hope. That's something, and you look at it, you go through the goals that Mitch has scored over his time in the NHL in the power play. He scored at times by shooting the puck, beating goalies clean. And last season, just it didn't go his way. That way, it didn't fall in for him. So I think we expect things to bounce back a little bit in that sense, but also just with the increased work and recognition and you know, a little bit of the urgency from all of the players on our power play to be great that, you know, we were expecting things to flip that way.